The New Orleans Saints keep on adding wide receivers to their roster for quarterback Derek Carr. But what does the new wide receiver signing of James Washington mean for the health of Michael Thomas? Will Thomas really be able to go this season? And now that the Saints schedule is officially released, what type of record can we anticipate for New Orleans? And when you're looking at every quarterback in the NFC in terms of QB rankings, is Derek Carr much higher than you realize? This is WiFiWillie NFL, where we break down the latest NFL news, and we're going to be talking about the Saints today. The Saints have signed former Steelers second-round pick James Washington to their wide receiver room, and Washington was most recently on the Cowboys, but he did suffer an injury during practice and had to be out pretty much the entire year. Prior to the Cowboys, he was with the Steelers, of course, selected in the second round of 2018, 5'11", 213 pounds in 2021, the last time he was able to play, had 24 receptions, 285 yards, 2 touchdowns, but the year prior had a lot of action, and he was really a key weapon for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the post-Antonio Brown era. 2019 is very clearly his best season, 735 yards with 3 touchdowns. And look, we know the Steelers typically do not give out second contracts for their wide receivers. Ever since Antonio Brown, they let Juju Smith-Schuster walk away, they traded away Chase Claypool, and then they decided to let somebody like James Washington walk. And Washington had injury problems last year, but there's a chance that he is still a decent wide receiver that can be utilized by the Saints. And when you look at all the weapons that the Saints offense has right now, this is very clearly the most loaded offense in the division. Maybe the Buccaneers can make a case, but they've regressed at quarterback for sure. And we know their wide receivers, people like Chris Godwin, have been battling all kinds of injuries. And I think the Saints are preparing in the event that their wide receiver, mainly Michael Thomas, does battle with some injuries as well. But you got Alvin Kamara, who is going to play for sure, but serve a mini suspension. Jamal Williams, great running back there. And then Kendre Miller, who you selected from TCU in the draft. He can be very interesting. And then Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Traquan Smith, Taysom Hill, and then Foster Moreau and Juwan Johnson. A lot of investment in the tight end room there for the New Orleans Saints. So Derek Carr has an array of weapons, but there is a possibility that Michael Thomas, well, maybe he doesn't completely work out. We saw the Saints go out there, sign Bryan Edwards. Now they're signing James Washington, 2 guys who I believe have a lot of upside, just have battled with injuries like Michael Thomas. Which one of these guys can hit? Which one of these guys can stay healthy? And if at least one of them does, then that does complete the wide receiver room for the Saints. You got somebody opposite Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed and Traquan Smith. And the reality is Michael Thomas has been dealing with some problems, real injury problems. Dennis Allen, head coach, recently told the media that he had some hardware removed out of that foot that he had surgery on in the past. He's had this left ankle that's been bothering him for some time, and they're expecting Michael Thomas to be limited in the offseason, but expected to be ready to go for training camp. And you got the general manager of the Saints, Mickey Loomis, hyping up Michael Thomas, trying to send some positive vibes, saying that he can be a 100-catch receiver still. He can still be the main guy. It's just all about his health, and if his health does not work out, well, it's quite frankly just not going to happen. And Dennis Allen is saying that he's going to be good to go for training camp, but the question is, how good to go? Is he 100%? What is the chance of re-aggravating that left ankle? And if Dennis Allen is saying that, oh, he might not be able to participate fully in the offseason, that just shows that he's not 100% right now. But we did see this video that emerged recently of Michael Thomas deadlifting a crap load of weight, so this guy looks like he's pretty good. And the Saints also have their backup quarterback behind Derek Carr, Fresno State, Jake Haener, practicing for the rookie mini camp there, ready to go. And it's going to be very interesting to see this guy in preseason, which is just right around the corner. And speaking of quarterback in the NFC, you're looking at who are the best quarterbacks in the NFC. I agree with some of these rankings, but I strongly disagree with a lot. Now, we got Derek Carr here at number 9, according to ML Football. Jalen Hurts at number 1. I think you got to give it to the guy, the former NFC champion, dual threat guy. Kirk Cousins, I would rank him high. Jared Goff, I would rank him high on this list, and I would rank Dak Prescott high as well. But when you look at the numbers statistically, Derek Carr is the same, if not better, than all these quarterbacks over the past 4 seasons, especially Dak Prescott, because he's been injured each of the past 2 seasons. And then you got Matthew Stafford and Kyler Murray, who, yes, they are good quarterbacks, good NFC quarterbacks. They were pretty much all gone last year. Kyler Murray is going to be pretty much all gone this year. Matthew Stafford, who knows if that guy is 100% at all? He doesn't even seem that confident about it. So I don't see how these 2 guys could be high on this list. Brock Purdy seems like he's not going to be available as well. The Niners keep hyping up Sam Darnold, and this guy didn't even play a whole season last year. He played the back half, and defenses didn't have tape on the guy either. So I definitely would not put him above Derek Carr. Daniel Jones, I think, did a good job last year, but he still needs more years under his belt of consistent play, something that DC has that he does not have. But I could totally see by the end of the season, maybe even towards week 8 of the season, Derek Carr moving all the way up to number 2, if not number 1. Right now, looking at this list, I think Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins have the best shot at making number 2 on this list, perhaps number 1, just like Derek Carr. Let's do a quick record prediction for the Saints because the actual week-to-week schedule has come out. Oh my goodness, preseason with the AFC West. Derek Carr is used to seeing the Chargers and the Chiefs. That's going to be interesting. But we are primarily going to see Jake Haener in these games. There's a lot of early morning matchups. You got week 1 against the Titans in Tennessee. Competitive team, Ryan Tannehill or Will Levis. Who's going to be the quarterback? Still got Derrick Henry there. And you still got a defense that's always been tough with Mike Vrabel as the head coach. I could see this game going either way. I'm still going to give the edge to the Saints here. I think the Titans are semi-rebuilding. They've been offloading a lot of players. Now you got a rookie quarterback with your veteran. There's tension there. Seems like Ryan Tannehill is not too happy about the situation. So I think morale is low for the Titans, but I do think they are probably one of the toughest teams that the Saints are going to play this year. Then you're traveling to the Carolina Panthers to play Bryce Young, a man who still looks really young and looks really small. We're not sure if he's really NFL caliber quarterback due to his size issues. I would definitely give the Saints the win there. And then you're going to go travel to Green Bay. Green Bay Packers still have a good team around Jordan Love. Let's give the home field advantage to Lambeau there. We'll say that's their first L, the Packers, but I could totally see the Saints winning that game against Jordan Love. Jordan Love is no Aaron Rodgers. I hate to break it to you, Packers fans. And then the Bucks. I mean, the Bucks are going downhill and declining. No more Brady. Injuries to the wide receivers. Defensive players are not too happy. You got Devin White wanting more money. I think that's a L there for the Buccaneers. Patriots. Bill Belichick is declining. Mac Jones is unhappy. Even though they're traveling to New England, you could give some home field advantage to the Patriots there. I'm just going to say it's an L because I can't find many L's on this list if I'm being real. Houston Texans, that's a dub. I'm sorry, they're still rebuilding. Jacksonville Jaguars, I think that will be one of the toughest games along with the Titans, along with the Packers, but I will give the dub to the Saints there. I'll also give it to them even though they're traveling to Indianapolis against the Colts because they got the Anthony Richardson project out there. Bears are declining with Justin Fields. They don't even know if they're 100% bought in with the guy. Then you got the Vikings. I think the Vikings are hands down the toughest team on this entire schedule. Then you got Titans, then you got Jags, maybe Packers, maybe Lions, who we'll get to in a little bit. But I'm going to say they take an L to the Vikings. So I only got 3 L's. Well, as we're going into week 10 here, I see the Saints being 7-3 for sure by week 10. Quite possibly undefeated. I mean, I'm just going to say that. Quite possibly undefeated with how much talent they have on the offensive side of the football and still have some good pieces on defense, spend a lot of draft picks on defense. Week 12 against Atlanta. Of course, the Saints are beating Atlanta. I mean, even if they're in Atlanta, come on, guys. Get a dub there. Detroit Lions, that's going to be difficult. That is in Detroit. I'm just going to try to be fair and give, anytime it's a rough spot, I'm going to just give it to the opposing team right here. Let's give it to the Lions. That's 4 L's right now. You're 8-4. You had your bye week before Thanksgiving, and now you're playing the Panthers. I think they're going to sweep the Panthers this year. New coaching staff, a lot of changes happening there. 9-4. Then against the Giants. Actually, forgot they played the Giants. Probably the toughest team. Darren Waller, the former Raider with the Giants against Derek Carr, the former Raider on the Saints. This is going to be an interesting matchup. Let's just give the dub to the Giants. They made the playoffs last year. I'll just give it to them. So the Saints are 9-5 going into week 16 against the Rams. And Rams, wow, LA. That is Raider territory. I think you're going to see a lot of DC fans show up there in LA. So the Saints get a win there, 10-5. Then you get a win against the Bucks because come on, they're declining. And the Falcons at home in New Orleans to cap off the end of the year. You can have a 12-5 record here very easily. Let me know your record prediction for the Saints now that the schedule is out, and how do you feel about their offense and defense this year? Subscribe to this channel for more NFL content and more videos like this. My name is WiFiWillie. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.